Hey, what's going on? It's your boy JoeThunder, and we're back with another episode of the Smoking JoeThunder podcast. I forgot the number a while ago. I know we're up there. I don't want to say like a number because it probably would be wrong, but we're definitely around 250. You know what I mean?
It's a big number.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we got an episode for you. You know what I mean? Covering hip-hop and cannabis from Denver to all over the world. Graffiti, b-boying, hip-hop, rapping, you name it, lowriders, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Be Good Dispensaries, our official sponsor. Check them out for that good marijuana. You know what I'm saying? And we got another banger for you today. Don't stop. Can't stop. Don't stop. Won't stop. You know what I mean? We got a creative in the house. You know, start off doing graffiti. You know what I mean? Has his own kind of crazy little style. Sells a hell of fucking lot of canvases. You probably know who he is. If you've seen his shit, I'm sure you have seen his shit. But if you haven't, you need to lock in with him. Because he got some dope-ass shit, man. And he got a lot of history. We're going to talk about it today. We got hasko.art in the motherfucking building. What's going on, G?
What it is?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Nice and high or what?
Nice and high.
Hell yeah, that's the way it goes down over here, man. You know what I mean? We put it in the air.
It does go down over here.
Put it in the air. You know what I mean? If you ain't been a Smoking JoeThunder podcast and seen how we really do it, then you need to come check it out.
You get really high first, and then you come on.
Then we kind of continue.
How it happens.
Hell yeah. But how you been, brother?
I've been well, man.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Talking about earlier, been slanging some paintings. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
What kind of other merchandise do you have besides paintings? I know you have a gang of shit.
I do shirts. I do hats. I do stickers. I do tables. I do.
You do whatever.
Walls.
He'll paint your chick.
Yeah, I will.
If you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you, man, what do you think of like the merch game? It seems like lately, within this last 6 months to a year, the merch game is getting a whole lot easier. Like before, like even with my shit, I'd have to hit someone up to go get some shirts printed and wait. But now it's like you could print anything.
You can really print anything anywhere.
You need to get your nerd on and figure it all out because you could really you see the IG clips every day. Do this in 2 seconds and fucking talk about that, man. Has it gotten easier for you?
You know, I was in a place called All Stars Inc. for a while. I worked there for about a year, and I learned a lot while I was there. Shout out to Myron. Shout out
a lot of game.
Everybody there. And there's a whole plethora of things you can do with your art. Stickers, wood carvings, glass. There's everything that you can do.
For real.
Shirts.
At one point, jeans. I had a million things going, Rob. We was just talking about this in that little money bags, little wood cutouts, you know what I mean? Little flipped, you know what I mean? Wheat paste, like shirts, like sticker packs, like fucking.
Yes, sir. Everything, man. You know, I learned a lot while I was there, and I learned that you can kind of just do anything with your art as long as you have an avenue toward there. And so there's a lot in Denver specifically that can help with that for sure.
But it seems like I was saying the internet is taking it over. Those prices.
Totally.
And like just turnaround time.
Yeah. No,
and you can get anything now. Like before, like it was kind of a pain in the ass if I want to get a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Now you can get a jumpsuit in fucking 5 minutes. If you have your shit, you know what I mean? If you have your shit and everything to go, like you could get that shit submitted in 15 minutes, bro.
Yeah, straight up.
Have that shit by fucking Monday.
Yeah, no, I just got a sweatshirt that says farts on it. It just says farts. It's my favorite sweatshirt, my favorite hoodie. And I got it in about 5 days. Yeah.
Was it custom? Like
no, they just showed it.
But still some shit that
showed it.
Some shit that caught your eye that you're like, I want that shit.
I'm a goofy guy, so that was good. My son laughed at it pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who farts more, you or your son?
My son.
When y'all have, I know y'all have.
He doesn't even like do. He just does the like.
You're coming with the AK.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's not even like it's just there. He's just playing his game, and it just comes. It's just there. So no, him for sure. I'm gonna blame him for this whole thing. This whole talk is his fault.
Yeah. It's all your fault.
Yeah,
Just kidding. Shout out.
Shout out, Maverick.
Well, let's take it back to the beginning, man. You said you were born in Boulder.
Born in Boulder, yeah.
Moved to Lafayette, but pretty much by age 3, you're in Denver.
Yep.
Talk about those early years. What was the early years kind of like growing up, man?
Man, I learned how to ride a bike pretty early, so that was kind of cool. I learned how to do art pretty early. My father is an artist, and he...
What kind of artist was he?
He started off just... he just does what he does and can see things and just draw them pretty much. Way better than I can.
As far as like an object or like a picture anything.
Anything.
He can just see something. Yeah. If he gets it in him, he can.
And then he took architecture in college and graduated as an architect. Yeah, please, thank you. He really loves like lines, just doing the lines, doing straight lines, basically.
Like some blueprints, just lines, like
yeah, absolutely.
Stacking that shit.
And he can do them like without a ruler. It's crazy. Like my
straight ass lines without a ruler.
He's nuts with it. And so I kind of learned from him and started doing classes when I was younger through Miningers, actually, where I work right now.
What kind of classes?
Like just I think it was like a watercolor class at the time.
Just kind of basic like art classes, just kind of get you introduced to it.
Mm-hmm. And just like learning how to like get my own type of kind of style going, and I always just did my own thing when I did art through the years.
You never really kind of copied anything?
Or
not copied, but you know what I mean?
I mean, I'd say there's a little bit of influence for sure. I mean, if you can call it copy.
That was a bad word.
Nothing's original under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done. That's
right. You got to put your own twist on it. Yeah.
That's what Nas said. And I believe that there really isn't anything new under the sun. Like people see things and they do it. There's an influence.
Mm-hmm.
People see things in their mind and they do it. That's an influence right there. But not much of a copy type thing. I would say like the eyes that I do sometimes I kind of have to look at other people's eyes and at other people's art for their eyes. I can definitely say that for sure. And there's influence everywhere, man. I'll see a square eyeball and I'm like, dude, there's a square eyeball. No one has a square eyeball, you know. And then I'll do a square eyeball. You know, it's my art that I do when I'm just doing backgrounds with my kind of acrylic flow that I do. Those are super like one of one type shit. Like I'll literally see a face in this art that I'm doing. That's not because of anything specific. Sometimes I'll do mushrooms. Sometimes I'll just hang out.
Do you stimulate your mind sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Do you find yourself more productive then or less productive?
More, for sure.
And is it a little more wild? I want to use the word wild style, but you know, a little more just fucking abstract, or
it's more me, I feel.
Okay.
And I can definitely encourage that and tell you that that's a very nice way of knowing yourself and knowing what's up, you know, with your creativity. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So talk about the early years of getting into art.
Yeah, man. So when I got into actually selling art, that was about 4 years ago. But I've also been doing art for, my whole life, man.
You said it started off with the classes of Miningers. How did it progress?
It progressed to like, I would do pictures of like a hand, with just the outer edges of it. It wouldn't be like anything that was like a real actual hand, but you could recognize it.
Right.
Recognize what it
It'd
was.
be recognizable.
Absolutely. And then I would do something from that would stem from that, and it would just grow into this big like plethora. It was like almost like a bouquet of like hands and like faces and different things, and that grew into like what it is now, which is like, you know, faces, masks, basically just words. Also, I use quite a bit of words. Jean-Michel Basquiat really influenced me quite a bit, probably over anybody, I'd say, other than, you know, the people here in the graffiti world. But yeah, it's.
How would you describe your style?
I would describe it like, well, people have told me a few times that it's kind of like Jean-Michel Basquiat mixed with Picasso,
Okay.
which I saying that I'm very humbled, and I would never claim that to be like true from myself. I've just heard that from people quite a bit. But that and then graffiti based, which I also don't claim to be. I'm not a graffiti artist first, for sure. Like that wasn't my. I've been influenced heavily by it, but I cannot claim that I'm like
100%
down
graffiti
there, like,
bomber.
Oh yeah, I'm getting my hasko up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you'll see it around a little bit, but it's not anything that's popping in the streets type shit.
Hell yeah. How did you get
sense.
first introduced to graffiti then? Let's talk about that. How did the art turn into like, you know, accepting graffiti and start, you know, wanting to do that?
Well, when I started like absolutely accepting it and like really, God, I have cotton mouth so bad. Holy
Me too.
Sheep shit.
I do. It's like chalk.
It is, dude. Pardon me. There's no break on the microphone for the next people. Sorry.
We'll sanitize it. We sanitize every time.
Yeah.
But go for it. Talk about how you kind of got started with the graffiti.
So with the graffiti, it was Mope or Mopey, and Miser, Mise. We started IVS crew in like 2007. I was quite a bit older. They were quite a bit younger.
How old were you?
I was 21 at the time, and Moper was my girlfriend's cousin. And like they just were fucking around doing their shit, and like I was still fucking around doing my shit. I was so immature for that relationship. I'm telling you, that shit was not. It was not like
Not the best relationship in
Nah,
my
bro. I mean,
resume.
It shouldn't have been in my resume type shit. But
Shots taken.
Mm-hmm.
Pow pow.
Bo, I got him. Fucking, and so. Yeah, that's how I started doing it, and it was Mope, Mise, and I was Depper, DEPR.
Was that your first name or?
Yeah, it's kind of what I do here and there now, because I'm Hasko as my art name. So
Right. How'd you come up with that? Is it Depper? You said.
Depper, yeah.
How'd you come up with that name?
Depress, DEPRESSED. I think that's how you spell it. Probably not with two S's.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I think. So it was that. My first like real tag was on like a church sign
That's horrible.
right next to my house, dude. And my girlfriend got so mad at me. She was
That's horrible,
she was
bro.
Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I was like, me and Mise, I think, did that one. And like,
Did you know it was a church?
Yeah, it was right next to my house.
This guy does this
It wasn't anything. It was so toy, bro. It was the toyest thing I've ever done in my life. And like the biggest thing that I ever did was, and can I say it?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Because it wasn't. It's not around anymore, clearly. But it was over off of fucking 6th and I-25 on that fucking dink, 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 dink thing.
Okay.
It's like, you know, that roof with the...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Right by the trains.
On the first part.
Right.
And you had to climb over, like Mize took me over this fucking big old thing, and this other dude that called himself Only at the time. Not the only one that's now.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Shout out to Only. Shout out to Only One. I love you. But this is the back in the day, like, you know, he was like 15. And we hopped over, did the thing. I cut myself on the barbed wire.
Ooh.
It was like my claim to fame then. Like, yeah, I cut myself on barbed wire. So I got my fucking tagger down. And went up there and I tagged Gist, because that was what I wanted to go by at the time. It was Gist, J-I-S-T.
Okay.
And I did it pretty big, but I did it really shitty. It was horrible. It was horrifying.
And it ran forever, probably.
And it ran for like 6 days, which is a long time for me.
Okay.
I'd have my friends like drive me by there and shit.
Were all your friends talking shit or what?
I mean, they couldn't tell from far away, so it looked cool from far away.
It's one of those things where you look good from far, but you could tell.
I was like, that's some toy shit right there. I was like, that's so far away that no one's gonna notice.
Hey, you know, sometimes it works out like that.
It does, man. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. It was like, you know, I am by no means, let's get this straight, I'm not a graffiti artist. I'm not a tagger. I'm not in that world, but I do respect it highly, and I'm very influenced by it. So let's just say that for sure.
Who were some of the other graffiti artists you were influenced by?
Quoter, for sure. Definitely Quoter, Tusco.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, Trek, the whole EMF crew.
Yeah, I would say the
Ketter,
Will Park.
Ketter is an amazing artist.
He really is,
artist.
bro. If y'all don't know about the homie, bro, he be coming up with some phenomenal ass shit. I got like 5-6 pieces, bro.
I got 2 pieces from him. He drew my brother right before he passed away.
Damn.
Yeah, this was last year, right? This was a year and a half ago before my brother passed away. But
no, he's an amazing artist, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah. Hey, let's kind of rewind though, because you've always been involved in some crazy shit. You said you went to private school first, and you were literally with like rich motherfuckers, right?
I mean, I wasn't rich, but they were. I was in a rich ass school.
Was it like some 90210 type shit, or
it was kind of 90210-y?
Not maybe, you know, not like that, but like on, you know, a couple notches down.
90210-esque.
Who had the flyest whip, or what was the flyest whip?
Not there.
Or
man, well, I used to roll around with my friend, this dude named John Swift. Shout out to John Swift. It's his real name. His dad was named Skip Swift, if I don't mind saying that. It's funny little side note. But we used to roll around in a GMC Envoy back when the Envoys were brand new, and it was like the Envoys, like the...
Was that like the Escalade back then?
It was like the Escalade of Blazers, pretty much, of the Chevy Blazer, pretty much. Anyway, but that was like kind of the like sort of standard there, but I never had a car yet because I couldn't really afford one. My parents were going to give me one,
right?
And so it was that, and I got kicked out of there.
So you got kicked out of the private school, right? And this is in high school?
Yeah, this is in 10th grade.
What'd you get kicked out for?
All right. I got kicked out for making a prank phone call, and it was random, total like beep, boop, 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 boop. Had no clue who it was going to be.
But it was someone in your school, right?
No, it was a pastor of a church.
So not necessarily affiliated with your school. Some
not at
random.
all. I blamed it.
Okay.
I blamed it on the kid from my school.
I thought it was like somebody like in your school, because
I blamed it on someone from my school.
when you're telling this story, like we used to do that shit too.
Yeah.
And I remember my friend Sean, like his mom was a school teacher. So she had the book with like all the teachers' phone numbers, like the DPS.
Yeah.
So we would prank call our like teachers in middle school and shit. You know what I mean? I thought it was something like that, but you just called a random number.
Random.
And it happened to
Totally
be
random.
a pastor
Yeah.
in a church.
Yep.
And what was his name?
His name was Mike Myers.
Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. That's the fucking Twilight Zone. What's the cha?
That's Jason.
Cha. It's Jason and Michael Myers, the same thing, right?
Is Michael
Okay.
is Jason. Michael Myers is the like. I don't even know.
I don't know either.
I don't know
He
either.
just got the mask with a knife.
Shout out to whoever did the thing to Michael Myers. The whatever the thing is.
All right, so anyway, you call this person, and do you get him, or do you get the voicemail?
I got
or
the
is there even
voicemail.
voicemail back then?
I got the voicemail, whatever it's called back then.
Answering machine,
the
probably.
answering machine. And I started just letting them have it, just cussing them out. I was a crappy kid when I was little, man. I did a bunch of foul crap, but it made me who I am today. So I'm not gonna complain on it. But I said, hey, Mike Myers, I'm gonna kill you. And then I said something else about like something about his family, I think, and it ended up getting back to my school because I also said something about the other kid that went to my school.
Oh shit! So you kind of gave him a clue.
Yeah, y'all want to know the name of him?
It's up to you.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Probably not.
No, yeah.
Was this some kid you were having problems with in school?
Some kid that was picking on me. Yeah.
Okay,
for sure.
so basically you called and said
I didn't mean to say his name. I just said it because I was like, oh, I'm
so and so.
I'm so and so
at this school.
And I said it, and they knew that it was me because that particular pastor, he was a pastor. He brought that recording apparently because it was still on a tape.
Answering machine.
Shout out to answering machines. And brought it and played it in front of me and my parents.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it was bad.
What did your parents say? Well, I'm sure. I mean, they're
Pops
disappointed.
Pops is like 6'5.5".
Ooh, he's a big guy.
He's a big boy. Yeah. So it was like.
Were they whooping ass back then or what?
Nah.
I
was entitled, bro. I was an entitled child. Like to be
they didn't really like. I don't want to say they didn't discipline you.
Oh,
but
Popper beat me up when I was little. Not like beat me up, but like
whooped your ass.
He would spank me real hard, and like it was for something though. Like I love him and I appreciate him for it.
Yeah. It was different back then, you know what I mean?
That's Pops. I love Pops.
But by the time you got a little older, they were like, you said you could pretty much do anything you wanted, right?
Pretty much, man. Like, I just kind of ran my own ship. Like, I was involved in a lot of different stuff, man. Like, I mean, I don't know what I can go into.
Let's go back to finish what we were talking about, though. So he came to the school and played that shit in front of your mom and dad.
Yeah.
What were you?
Oh, dude.
How old were you, first of all?
I was in 10th grade. I was 16.
All right, so you knew what the fuck was going on.
I knew what was up, yeah.
And what were you feeling like? What did you kind of say to yourself when?
Where the fuck am
did
I
you
going?
even know that you were in there for that, or was it a surprise?
It was a surprise because the dudes I was with also went to the school, and they also told on me.
The dudes, say that again.
The dudes that I was with talking on the phone because we did a 3-way, and it was like, boop boop. I'll call him. Hold on. Beep beep beep. Press star. Whatever.
Okay. So you had two other people on the phone with you then too.
And they were just laughing. It was just them laughing, but it was me like the whole time.
And they told on you.
They technically when they were brought in, they technically told on me because the dude had the phone number on the thing. And it was my friend.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So it was just all in all a bad situation. They had the evidence there.
Yeah, and those kids got to stay at the school. I got kicked out. And then I went to South High School.
And then real quick, you said you got kicked out because this was already your third strike.
Third strike, yeah.
Within your first year there? Or no, it was your second year?
It was my third year there. Okay. My third, yeah. I was in 8th grade.
You're just doing crazy shit at this private school.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there was a lot of crazy shit going on. that I did.
Why were you doing it at private school? Was it kind of just to stand out? Were you trying to rebel?
I mean, I guess.
Were you trying to make a name for yourself?
No,
or
the home attention wasn't
there.
Wasn't there really. My little brother was mentally challenged, and he kind of had to get all the.
So that means your parents are really tied up with him at work.
They have to be tied up with him. They had to be, man.
Yeah.
There's no other way. Like, I don't even look down on that at all. That's how it had to be. That was the realness of it, and so I kind of just did what I wanted to do. I got my first charge was when I was in 6th grade. I stole cigarettes from Payless Drug when they had the cigarettes on the outside.
On the outside of the store?
Yeah, no, on the outside of they didn't have them in the back. Yeah, they didn't have them.
I was like,
counter,
I know you're talking about 7-Eleven. They used to have them right there at the register.
Yeah, and you know how you like when you see old people sometimes. I'm just being real. You see old people sometimes, and you don't think they're gonna see what you're doing because like
they're old.
They're like trying not to fall pretty much, and like
I should have seen your ass.
And this dude saw me fucking. Like I saw him walk by too, and it was just a travesty to me. I skipped school that day, and I made my bed with my pillows, because mom was like in and out of the house sometimes as a realtor, and she found my bed, and there was like nobody in it except for pillows, and then I got caught by the old guy.
And he actually pressed charges on you?
No, the old guy didn't. He was just the one who told.
Oh, but he told your parents?
Yeah, no, he told the fucking store, and they came and got me and sat me in the back, and I was like 6th grade. This is the first time I ever got caught for anything. Yeah, that's when that started.
Did the store press charges on you?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I had to get.
They didn't give you
like little tiny probation.
Did you try to talk your way out of it or anything, or
baby probation? I called myself Jake Patella like an idiot. My last name is Patella already. I was like, Jake Patella. My parents are Alice, and I gave them their phone number and everything. It was wasn't what I'm proud of.
Right.
For sure.
And you just kind of, like you said, kind of kept getting in trouble.
Until I was
kind of forced to go to public school.
Pretty much, yeah. And then, yeah, that's what that was, and that turned into a shady kind of mess.
And then you said you went to South first, right?
I went to South, yeah, for like, I'd say 3/4 of a year. Yeah.
How was that?
That was crazy. That was like, I had never seen so many like gang activity, so much gang activity.
Was there a lot of gang activity going on?
A lot, yeah.
You said, was this during the summer of violence type shit?
No, that would have been in like 94, 93.
What year are we talking?
We're talking like 2000.
Okay.
2001 type shit. But fucking in that and saying that, there was a lot of like,
Were there like gang fights at school? Were there shootings?
Yeah, no shootings. There was 2 bomb threats, which was kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
One of which me and my friend stayed inside of the school in this little cubby instead of going outside, kind of because we knew it was fake.
Right.
But that was kind of funny. That was fun.
I got a funny little kind of bomb threat story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was working for. Trying to think who the fuck I was working for. I was working for like some phone company, and we were operators. Like when you call 0, you get us. We're the operator for fucking the payphones and everything. So, big concert, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg concert is going down. You know what I mean?
Was it Up in Smoke?
I think it was.
I saw Up in Smoke by myself.
Damn, I didn't get to see that.
I missed Eminem.
Someone called in a bomb threat to our job, and we had, like, when you walk in, there were like probably 300 little small lockers where you could put your shit in before you go to work.
Yeah.
And they had to break the locks on all of those fucking lockers. I want to say like 25, 30 people got fired that day for shit they had in their lockers. like weed, coke. I think a couple guns. Like, so they had to go break. They had to snip the locks on all these fucking lockers, and when they're going through each one of them, they were finding shit.
Yeah.
And like 20, 30 people got fired that day. You know, yeah, that shit was wild, bro. Like, for real.
That's fucked up.
So I'm all high, bro. Damn. We were talking about the bomb. So bomb threat at school, high school.
Yeah.
What happened after that?
Well, I went to Cherry Creek High School for about, I think it's going weird, for about, I don't know, it was just me on probation. I was always on probation.
At every school?
Always. Well, just like actual probation.
Oh, that too.
And
school probation.
And school probation. Like mainly actual probation.
Damn, you were fucking around.
Dude, I dropped my weed in this thing at in 8th grade and got sent to some other school that was like in a trailer and shit, and like.
Where'd you drop your weed at? In school?
I put it in this thing at the school, like a smart guy would. You know,
kind of like the locker.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like where they could just fucking see it. It was pretty much like.
You weren't giving a fuck, huh?
No, bro, not one back then. Now I have a 9-year-old, so I have to, and I love to, and I get to.
Let me ask you: when you were growing up and all this is going on, were you just smoking weed, or were you starting to use other drugs?
No, I was. Can I say?
Yeah, just speak your mind, bro. As long as you're comfortable with it,
yeah, man.
You can say whatever the fuck you want, bro. I ain't gonna, you know what I mean?
I was an intravenous drug user for a while. For about total, I mean, it was on and off.
Right.
Total,
And can you explain that for the people that don't know?
Intravenous drug use is like when you shoot drugs with needles into your body. And I only am sharing this because I want to help other people, because I don't do that anymore.
Right, you beat that shit, you know what I mean?
I don't have to do that anymore. I get to be a different person. I get to do this. I get to sit and do this with Joe. I get to, I get to do this. So how did it kind of got to that point? Got to that point, yeah, around.
And do you mind if I ask how old you were?
I was doing cocaine when I was like 16. And then like, kind of that led to opiates, and that led to intravenous opiate use after like my first stint in rehab.
Was opiates a big thing in like middle school and high school, or no?
Yeah,
I'm always thinking like they're just taking them from their parents. You know what I mean?
It was like back then. It was like it was OxyContin.
And I'll tell you what, back then too, like R.I.P. my mom, man, she had issues with that when she passed, but those doctors are fucking prescribing that shit. I don't think my mom never had less than like a fucking 100 of those bitches, and I don't know what milligrams they were, but
out the ass.
My dad told me one time, he's like, he was chilling and he had counted how many pills my mom took all day, and it was like 9, some crazy, you know what I mean? And he's like, I did 2. And I was like, I was fucked up beyond belief. So I was just imagining, like, man, she's kind of fucking hooked on that. Yeah. So back in the day, it was there.
Yeah,
it was probably nothing for anyone's family to have a fucking jar in the medicine cabinet of fucking OxyContin or Percocets or whatever.
I got a hold of my little brothers one time, back in the day, and then I got beat up for them at a party. That was pretty nuts. It was like a rich kid party, but some kid was like I gave him one, and then he saw the head in my pocket, and he just clocked me out and took him.
Damn.
Yeah.
What was it like partying with like kind of like rich kids, bro?
Like as fuck, bro. Shit's tight as fuck. It was like, man.
You were saying, man, they would kind of just take their parents' credit card and just fucking buy whatever the fuck they
wanted to.
What's the most ridiculous couple things you've ever seen someone buy?
Well, I went to this kid's house, and it was a compound. It wasn't a house. They each had their own wing of a house. They had their own kitchens and everything. And I was in 10th, 11th, 12th grade. Mm-hmm. I think I was in 12th grade. my first time in 12th grade, not my second. And fucking, they like had their own, I mean, just their own everything. They had their own wing of the house. They had unlimited access to alcohol. You would get ridden home in a fucking goddamn limousine. If like during parties,
Right.
they would have a limousine to like take you home, and like so just to make sure you're safe.
That's kind of tight.
And the parents weren't even like half involved. It was like the people who watched the kids were involved, and I'm pretty sure the parents never knew about it.
Like, what do you mean they were like involved? I don't want to say babysitters, but the people.
Babysitters were like the ones that were like, okay, yeah, you're gonna be this fucking out of control. We're gonna be involved. Okay, like
We're gonna party with you.
yeah, maybe one, maybe one or two. There was a dude that was a little bit
Sketchball.
too like handy out with the fucking drinks. You know, like I don't know what his name was. I really wish I did. I'd shout him out right now. Hardcore.
Fucker.
Super hardcore, yeah.
What was kind of the craziest thing you've experienced at a party? You know what I mean?
As far as partying,
As
or
partying with the different class. You know what I mean? The rich kids.
Oh, the rich kids. The most crazy thing was that kid's house, because there were literally he had original Star Wars memorabilia in his house. He had the one of the white. What's the white ones? I'm not a Star Wars
Star
fan.
Troopers or Stormtroopers?
Yeah, sorry about not being a Star Wars fan. Sorry. But he had one of those in his corner, and it was all boxed off. And it was
like a real, like
an
a
actual one
like,
from the
yeah,
movie.
damn, that's
Dude,
crazy.
You fucking don't even appreciate that shit. Type shit. But yeah.
What? So did it turn into alcohol first, then start going to the different
Yeah.
drugs at the parties?
It was alcohol and like I guess cocaine when I was like 16. I started liking that shit pretty early, and then I used to get pills for my grandma way back in the day. R.I.P. Grandma.
Like, would she give them to you, or would you just take them? Or
she'd give them to me, and I'd take them from her too. So it'd be like a double. She'd give me a handful of Vicodin back then, and that's where that started. And I had no idea what I was doing to myself, bro.
Right.
No clue where that was leading. That was 16.
Right. That's crazy.
And then going up to like when I was like 20, 21, 22, I went to my first rehab because of alcohol. Shout out alcohol. But it was a lot, man. It was like I was doing coke and that, and
Did they know you were doing both, or they just thought you were drinking?
Yeah, they're the ones who found me. I was watching my little brother actually at the house while they were out of town, and he was fine. He just ended up taking everything out of their drawers and putting it all over the house because that was his thing.
Right.
My little brother, shout out my little brother, R.I.P. again.
Yeah.
But they found me passed out on the couch, and I had a bottle like right next to me, and they had to do something. And so since then, there's been quite a few like rehabs for hard drugs, which I do not encourage, and I will not partake in.
How long have you been sober, fool?
Off of hard stuff.
Yeah. Everything besides weed.
It's been about a year and a half now.
Congratulations, man. It's a good accomplishment. Well,
Yeah.
it's not like you came in here all wasted. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you guys seem like you got that under control.
Yeah, no, I'm good on it. I just can't I can't fuck around, man.
Is it
The new thing is like just fucking around. And
right?
I feel like it's
to get you fucking pilled
yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah. No, like that
Can you imagine like fentanyl with you guys the way you guys are partying back then? If you didn't know about like this some new shit, and then there's 20 of you that fall.
Fucks me up, bro. You can't just like find somebody who knows what they're doing. You know, you don't know what's there now. You don't know what's in it. You don't know if it's safe or if it's like half safe. Because if it's half safe, you can still do it, but it's like
you're still riding that line.
You're riding that line.
Mac Miller, bro. You know what I mean?
That's one of my favorite artists, bro. That's my top 5, bro. The top 5 albums, I should say, not artists. Yeah. Swimming album is one of my favorite albums.
For sure. That's just dope, album. Man. R.I.P. Yeah. But even shit like that, whoever thinks like you're going to buy a fake pill.
I know. No one knows.
You know what I mean?
You don't know. You don't.
What got you to the point where you said you got to kick this shit?
And I had my son.
That was a turning point?
Yeah. July 22nd, 2013. That's when life changed quite a bit. I was in a program. It's called Peer 1. PEER1. Shout out to everybody there and all the counselors and everything there that helped me. But it was a trip, man. It was having a child and then just knowing that that's the love of your life.
Well, now you have something to live for, bro. Like before, it sounds like you didn't have anything to live for. You're living on a limb, didn't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
And now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a fucking boy that looks like you. You know what I mean? Is you, bro. And I mean, if that can't change a person, nothing can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now it's no longer just about me.
No, it's not. It's about him. It's about him. So it can be about me if I go, if I go toward taking care of him. Like that's my reason. It's my like if I wouldn't have art if I didn't have him.
Right.
I get these blessings from taking care of him. I'm a great father. We were just up in Estes Park, and it was the most amazing thing just to see him being himself, and being that almost 10-year-old he is. So.
Oh, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm glad you were able to turn it around.
Yeah, for sure.
While you were going through all this, where were you in the art and all that? Like, has that started yet? Or
yeah, I was
were you kind of like living that artist's life? Is that what you're doing too, or
in 2017 or 15? I guess I should say 2015. I started doing art on canvas, and it was horrific. It wasn't anything that I would consider good. Then again, I'm not the.
Hey, we all start off somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean?
But it was just like me writing my tag name at the time, which was Hasko. Haskell, actually, to start. Haskell.
How'd you get that name?
Well, I used to watch. This is gonna sound crazy. This show called Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, I used to watch that shit. I'm old, bro. I used to watch Leave It to Beaver, Andy Taylor.
So
Andy
you know Eddie Haskell.
Yeah,
man.
all day.
That's where I got my name, because he was the kid who was always like, "Hey there, Mrs. Cleaver."
Oh, ass kisser.
Yeah, his little ass kisser, and then in the background, he's like fucking shit up, dude. Just the biggest bastard ever. Doesn't remember anyone's name.
Was he really like the kind of the rich kids?
He was,
you know what I mean? Like he sit in front of the parents. He's like,
Yeah. He was kind of like the dude that was like right off of the rich kids, like fed off of them. type shit. It's funny that this is the topic because I've like I wanted to talk about this for a long time, like for real. Fucking yeah, no, it was that, and then it was Hask, and then it was Hasko, and now I can't really do Hasko really much anywhere, you know, except for on my paintings, which is fine. But that was what I wrote for about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And then you how did you kind of like progress in the canvas making canvases? Do you remember when you sold your first canvas?
I do. Yeah, I was up in Colorado Springs at a thing for 420 actually, and a little Flip showed up and actually. I gave him one of my canvases. I didn't sell it, but that was the first canvas that I ever gave away.
It's a Little Flip?
It's a Little Flip, yeah.
For real? Shout out Little Flip.
Yeah, shout out Little Flip.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what, did he see, how did that happen? Was he just do it?
He liked it. I brought it up to him. No, I ran
Or you
up
really
to him.
made one just for him?
No, I just ran up to him because I didn't know he was gonna be there.
Yeah.
So I ran up to him and I was like, Flip, here, hey, yo, take this. And he was like, yo, this shit is dope because he's an artist himself.
Okay.
And like,
I never knew that.
He's an artist, yeah, absolutely, he's an artist. And then he did his song, Flip,
Game
Flip.
Over.
Game Over. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was one of the highlights. And then I sold one while I was in the car because I was feeling like shit because I had smoked way too many dabs, dude. It was bad. I had to go sit down. So I went to the car and my mom had just showed up to see my very first pop-up.
Okay.
And the person who I was with, who was selling art for me, also sold one for $300, and it was a tiny one. And I ran out because they texted me, like I just got all these texts blowing up. You just sold your piece. You just sold your piece. And I ran out, and I was like, what? And it was right after Flip, that's like super cool that like that's part of it.
Yeah.
But and I sold it for $300, and that's when I knew that I didn't need anybody else to help me sell my art, unless I like was joining like a pop up or something like that. But like I knew right then that because I had to give them $75 of it,
right?
Which I was fine with, but also I was like, I didn't have to give them $75.
That's a big tax right there.
Yeah, it was.
And was that what the kind of style that you're doing today? Is that
yeah, same style, yeah. And now my style is more just like I do backgrounds and then I see faces in them. I'm a huge believer in just going ham on a colored canvas, or not, just like throwing color on canvas and then going ham on it with solid black lines. And that's my I can't even help but see half the faces that I see in my canvases. So it's like pretty genuine, pretty like hopefully original, you know what I'm saying? Like I try not to like take too much from the eyes that I like to, because eyes are hard for me.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. But everyone, you know what I mean? As long as you if you take something, as long as you kind of like evolve it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't take fucking Biggie's full verse,
Yeah. Nas's full verse, I think. Isn't it Nas?
Say it again?
Isn't it Nas's full verse?
What do you mean?
Nothing. No idea is original. There's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done.
You got me confused.
I thought it was Nas's original. I wasn't sure.
Oh no, I was just making like a reference to like anyone, like just biting
yeah.
someone, not taking a line from someone, but taking like someone's like, I ain't gonna say no names, but there's someone notorious out there for taking, bars and bars and bars of people's raps and putting them in his raps,
totally.
more than homage. You know what I mean?
No, and I definitely, as far as like graffiti goes, like I like to write stuff on my canvases more than anything. I love to put like what I'm thinking right then, or if I'm watching a movie and I hear something, I'll put whatever's right there on the top of like one of the eyes. And that's very graffiti oriented, and I'm very I'm blessed to have that. I believe that, you know, half of what's going on in Denver art is graffiti oriented, whether people like to admit it or not.
Right. You got to pay back homage and
Straight up.
you know,
Yeah.
don't get mad when they do shit on your murals and all that shit. You got to pay dues too.
Shout out to like. Can I give some shout outs real quick?
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Shout out to Moper, first and foremost.
We're gonna have to get him on the podcast, bro. You're gonna have to hook that up. We're gonna have to hook it up.
Shout out to Moper. Shout out to Quoter. Shout out to Tusk. Shout out to Ketter. Gosh, shout out to Ketter, man. Straight up. All day. Shout out to Trek and the whole EMF crew. R.I.P. Fever.
For sure.
Please.
R.I.P. to the homie.
Yep. And R.I.P. my little brother, too.
Yes, sir. Again.
Sam Patella. He died 1 year ago yesterday.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
He died on his birthday. It's pretty crazy.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, he's in a better place, though, but R.I.P. then.
Hey, let's talk some hip hop.
Yeah, please.
What was some of the first hip hop music you listened to? You first got into, bro? Because you're kind of surprising me on the hip hop tip over here. You already dropped the Nas verse, and you did something earlier. I can't remember because I'm high. But
Nas is top 5 for sure.
you know, you said you could do the Wu-Tang and Triumph and all their voices.
Triumph and all the voices.
So listen, I know you're a hip hop. I knew you're a hip hop head, but not like this. So let's talk about this shit, bro. Like, who was the first influences that you're listening to?
Back in the day, Crisscross. But
Right.
that's just back in the day.
Jump.
Backwards clothes, the whole damn thing.
Hey, for real, if people say they don't listen to Crisscross or they ain't listen to Vanilla Ice or MC Hammer,
These
y'all
are
lying.
lying.
Everyone listen to that shit. ABC, Another Bad Creation, all that shit. We listen to all that all that shit. House Pain, all that shit.
Straight up. Yeah, no. So Wu-Tang Triumph album was my first like hip hop album in 6th grade, and my friend's sister, who was very attractive at the time.
She hot.
Yeah, she's still hot.
Try to say hello. No, I'm just playing.
What's up, Taylor? Yeah, so
she
that
put you on that Wu-Tang.
on that Wu-Tang Triumph song, number 2 on the album, and I listened to it, and then I listened to, oh man, the whole damn thing.
That was a good, their first 2 albums were phenomenal.
Yeah. I didn't listen to the first one until I listened to the second one. So
you backtracked.
I had to backtrack, and that took a while for me to backtrack. But
did it?
It did.
What did you think though when you heard of the first one? Because that shit is hard, bro.
Because that shit is, dude. That was when I was like 12 when I heard that one. When I really like just wanted to listen to that one. Because I was also into like No Doubt and like fucking all that bullshit. My first concert was No Doubt. With Weezer and the Suicide Machines.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a pretty dope concert. I smoked like 3 hits of a joint, and my mom got mad.
Funny.
I set my house on fire that day too. That was fucking tight.
I think real quick, one of my first concerts, like rap concerts, was the Beastie Boys and Fishhead or Fish. Is it Fishhead or Fishbone?
Fishbone, I think.
Fishbone, and they were wild.
Yeah. What was the first one?
Beastie Boys, License to Ill. Oh, bro. Beastie Boys. I'm going to date myself again. Beastie Boys, License to Ill tour with Fishbone. They just came out with the fucking, the what's their first shit called? There's a plane that's the joint. You know that was a joint, too. That plane that's crashed. That's a blunt. And if you listen to Beastie Boys, they're grinding me motherfuckers.
Dude, straight up.
With my hand, he's like, my hand on my trigger, 22.
The way they pass the rhymes to each other is
phenomenal, bro.
I didn't even notice it until late that they did it like that, because it was just like I did notice different voices, but I didn't really think about like how epic that was for them to be like,
they were doing the Run DMC shit, but more, and they were going, and there's 3 of them, and they're doing it even more, like so you couldn't even tell, man.
Straight up.
Like, shout out to those cats for real, man. A lot of people don't give them credit for being storytellers. But songs like fucking Paul Revere and shit like that fucking paint that picture so fucking perfect, bro.
My favorite hip hop, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Is definitely Aesop Rock.
Okay.
For sure, man. I had people in, I don't know what year it was, thinking that he was this black guy that was rhyming, and I'm like, dude, this dude's not black, bro. This is a Jewish dude from fucking New York. I can say Jewish dude because I'm a Jew. Sorry.
You're fine.
And so Aesop Rock, yeah, he's my top two, man, for sure.
That's what I was gonna get into next. But you're talking about top five. What's your top? Who's your top five in your top five?
Well, Aesop Rock, I think is one, dude.
Numero
honestly.
uno.
I think he definitely has to be one if I'm going to do that. But also, as far as albums that I've heard and that I have fucked with hardcore, Nas second, and then Inspected Deck is third for sure. For the just plainly for the intro on Triumph. Abomatomically, Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't define it. He just gets it, dude.
For real. Hey, did you see that shit I posted the other day on the gram? It was his verse from the fucking Tupac song.
Oh, is that what that?
With Red and Met that Tupac did and kind of kicked, not kicked, I don't want to say kicked him off, but kind of,
Right.
but
Right.
yeah, it was his verse from that shit. You know how shit's nowadays, shit's starting to leak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, that fool's he's a dope rapper, bro.
I agree.
So you said you got what? You got ASAP,
Aesop Rock. Aesop Rock. Yeah.
Nas,
Not ASAP Rocky.
nah, ASAP.
Aesop Rock for sure.
There's a difference.
And then, after that, I would definitely say, golly, I'm gonna go with albums. After this, I'm just gonna go with the fourth to be the albums. Swimming by Mac Miller.
Okay, that's a dope album.
Just it sits well with me in so many ways, and really like, if someone can make me fucking cry, bro, I'm all up in it. That sounds really weird, but
Pause.
straight up pause. But no, if someone can like really like fuck with what I'm going through, that's it. I think that's it with everybody too.
I know you're talking about that, and when you talk about that, it makes me think of the song with I'm not the biggest Game fan, but he has a song with Busta Rhymes where he's all drunk.
Busta's 5.
You know what I mean? And he's talking about all this shit in Death Row, and it's kind of like some sad ass shit because you're hearing his real shit because he's fucked up, bro. But he's killing it, and then Busta Rhymes, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Some wild shit.
Yeah, dude. Nah, man, that's I think Busta's in my top 5 for sure. I don't know. I guess where he is. I might have just fucked up the whole 5, but whatever.
5, 6.
I mean,
you know, ain't no biggie.
Busta, you can't. No one can fuck with Busta in any certain way. I don't think. I think he's like not just the fastest. Like I don't know, Eminem's probably faster or whatever. And shout out to Eminem, whatever.
I think we'll put the 3 Eminem, like him and Twister. They're all in that, you know, super.
They're all in that super. Like they're able to probably do the same verses.
Yeah, they probably know that shit to the back, you know, all day front and back.
Yeah. Damn.
Hey, who are some of your favorite non-hip hop groups?
Non-hip hop groups
Of all
are going to be NoFX, specifically the Coaster album, 2009. I wasn't much of a fan of punk before then. And that was when I was like 20. I was getting into fucking graffiti and shit. I kind of grew up when I was like early 20s, bro, a little bit. Just because of the circumstances type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, NoFX for sure. Yes, the band Yes.
Okay.
My dad showed me Yes. I've been to like two Yes concerts, and I would say Tool is one of the others, and then Non-hip hop, man. Wax Motif. Wax Motif is a dope, like house. It's house music.
Okay.
So
I have to check it out.
I dig house music too sometimes, but it's hip hop mainly. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
99.9%.
99.9%. I can't stop. Like sometimes I'll even listen to like new shit that's out that I'm like, I don't know why the fuck I like this.
There's good shit. You just got to filter it just like anything else.
Yeah.
I'll get on one of those Apple playlists of the top one, not top 100, but just 100 new shit and pick out what I like real quick. I can tell right away, bro, if I like it. Like
I like the Migos, bro.
Do you?
I really like the Migos.
R.I.P.
I know. R.I.P. R.I.P.
Where do you think?
Take off. R.I.P.
Being that you're a hip hop head, where do you think they fall in the realm of the best group ever? Because they said they were the best ever.
Them?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they are up there. They are up there, but I don't think they're the best ever.
They're like number 40, dude.
Top number 40 group?
Or maybe a number 40 group. Yeah, out of groups. Yeah. Not even like, I don't know. Each of them.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
I would think they would at least be top 10, maybe top 5 if you're looking at statistics.
Ever groups? Oh, statistics.
And statistics and their hits, because they kind of.
Statistics.
As far as like, that's, I mean, if you're. Honestly, if you have statistics, you got to consider you.
Statistics is like...
You know what I mean?
Statistics would be like...
That's why you got to put Bone in that category too, because they're on a different level. They're not on that fucking...
As far as groups go?
Yeah.
So as far as groups go in total, what would my top...
So yeah, man, some of your top rap groups of all time.
So as far as groups go... I think I'm going to have to go with Wu-Tang Clan. I don't know which order these are in.
Yeah, just give me your top favorite 5.
Wu-Tang Clan, Hail Mary Mallon, Tribe Called Quest. For sure. Let's see. Man. I think...
Here, what you think about it? I'm going to give you a top 5, because I've never really did a top 5 groups.
Yeah, please do.
So I'm going to go with groups. One of my favorite groups, the Lost Boys.
Okay.
Mr. Cheeks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would throw, let me see, Outkast. Definitely be a top group. NWA would be a top group.
Yeah.
This is where it gets tricky, because then you got 2 more, like Gangstar, if you consider them a group. Like, I love Gangstar. I don't really consider them a group, but I mean...
They're their own entities.
You know, I'm going to say Gangstar, MOP in the same one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or not MOP, I'm sorry. I don't MOP is tight. I would say Mobb Deep, yeah. And then on my 5th one, I'm going to put 2 groups there, too. I'm going to put Far Side and the Alcoholics.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Because those 2 are fucking legendary.
Dude.
Yeah,
exactly. Fucking Rap Life album.
We had him on the podcast, bro. He's a dope motherfucker. Shout out to homie Tash.
The Rap Life album
for real
by Tash, dude. Come on now.
Hell yeah.
Can't get better than that.
So it's crazy, man. You've definitely, listened to a lot of fucking music, hip hop from the beginning. You know what I mean?
I could have listened to more for sure, but.
You definitely tell me though you're into the new shit as well. I'm into
like and I like some of the like I hate to say it, man, but like I like.
Hey, some of it's good. You can't knock the youngsters.
No, man. But
you can never knock the youngsters. We gotta influence them and help them out too, because good music's good music, bro.
Right.
Now, what I always say back in the day is, if you make an album, you ain't got one, that I could bop my head to, then you need to quit.
You don't have one. I used to buy CDs that just had one.
For real, huh? Just that one song. You know what I'm saying? What were some of the first CDs you bought?
I bought Crisscross.
You actually bought that?
Yeah.
Nice.
My parents bought it for me, I think, for Christmas. So I didn't technically buy it.
What's the first one you bought?
What I asked for.
What's the first one you bought that you actually went to the store, or your parents took you to the store and you bought?
It was a White Zombie album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Yeah.
First rap one now.
Rap one. First rap one would have to be. I think it was that one. I thought it was that. Oh, you know what? Oh, that was Marilyn Manson.
Kind of rap.
Yeah, no. I can't think of which hip hop album I first bought. I think from what I remember, my grandmother bought me the double disc album from Forever from Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Shout out to Grandma.
My grandma got me that.
That's tight
But
as
we
fuck.
both went to get it because she didn't know what it was.
Right.
And she also bought me Nine Inch Nails album, but
Okay.
she went by herself to get that one, and she went in there and went. She's from Latvia, right?
Uh-huh.
So she goes in there and she goes, "Do you have 9 inches?" And so they gave her the album, knowing it was that. But
Oh, okay.
my dad was cracking up the whole time. Yeah,
That's funny as fuck, dog.
yeah. So, but no, hip hop. As far as hip hop,
You ever think it lasts this long?
hip hop.
Yeah, as far as the
Yeah.
music?
Absolutely. Like Africa Bambaataa and stuff like that. Like I still fuck with all that.
No, but I'm saying, do you think it? You know what I mean? Like people thought that shit was like a fad or something.
No,
Do you really
never thought
kind
it
of
was
like almost like? Did you ever think fucking weed would be legal, bro? I never thought weed would be legal back in the day.
I had to go to Fort Collins to get it.
Yeah, I never thought that shit would be legal like it is today.
No, never.
You used to go to jail for that shit. Not even a
didn't-
ticket, go to jail.
I never really thought that it was like an option for it to be not a thing, because it was just there when I was born already. I was born in 1985, and so it was already there. It was already kind of a staple, from what I know. You know, it was already. I think. You know, it was a thing. It wasn't just it might have been a fad at the time. People thought, but I think it was a thing already
Oh yeah,
from when I was born. Yeah.
it's dope. Well, shit. Let's talk about art.hasko today. Did I say it right?
Hasko.art.
Hasko.art. See,
Hasko.art.
you got to
Yes,
remind me. You
yes,
know,
sir.
I use
I
your
know.
boy JoeThunder. That was number 349.
Hasko.art.
I have it right here in front of me. I was looking for it, but I couldn't see it because of the microphone, but it's right there in front of me. Hasko.art.
You're all good, one.
What's going on with Hasko.art in today's day and age?
Man, I'm constantly trying to post dailies and show people who I really am, and also post my art and sell it through, whatever.
Social media can be a little
Yes,
too much
it
sometimes.
is.
Like, I get tired of it, bro. Like, I kind of do it all at one
Yeah.
time sometimes, and I know I shouldn't do that, but it's like breakfast, lunch, and dinner type shit. It's
Yeah.
like fucking rough.
No, and I through Instagram, it's been quite a journey.
Do you get a bunch of knuckleheads? You got to
Instagram's
fucking worry
like-
about a bunch of fucking connivers and shit.
Like trying to
Get free art and
let me
fucking.
do this for this and this and this, and it's like, nah, dude.
What's the weirdest like trade thing someone's ever offered you besides blowjobs? No, I'm sure you get that
it's
all the time.
Mainly my
From the groupies,
my
from all the
thing.
groupers.
No, not ever that. No, I got a kid, man. I don't even know what that is right now.
My friend told me like my friend in LA like did street art, and he kind of told me some story where like some like he was putting some shit up, and like some old like kind of like not even MILF, but like I want to say Lady Eloise, if you know what I'm talking about, like just an older like fucking
Yes.
She was trying to get at him like,
Yeah,
come to
yeah.
my apartment and I want to fucking da 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 da.
Lady Eloise, if you're out there, I'm game.
You'll be a fucking what they call it. You can have a sugar mama.
Yeah,
All
I
day.
mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd say yes, just 'cause it's a sign of the times. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Shit, I was watching some fucking dog. I was watching some podcasts the other day where I don't even remember the lady's name, but she was involved in like death row somehow, some kind of way.
Yeah.
And she started dating Daz, and she talks about how she was lacing Daz and Snoop and all those fools up. They look rough, she said, and they weren't fitting the image, so she was lacing them up with Nordstrom's because she worked at Nordstrom's. And fucking, she was talking about like basically like kind of. You know, getting getting them going and shit. Being a sugar mama,
That's
fuck.
so funny, dude.
Getting some dizzle in the process. You know what I mean?
Man, I don't know, man. If I could have a sugar mama, I think I would. I think I would. I'm not going to say no to that. I'm not going to say no to it.
What if there are stipulations? What if you had to smash twice a day, every day, one day off a week?
No marriage certificates.
That's the only thing. No marriage. Pretty much, you'd be down.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's the difference though? I mean, fuck.
I'm a cheap date, bro.
Shit, if you get married, marriage certificate, that means you get half.
No, you don't. I mean, well, okay.
And obviously, you see a sugar mama shit.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the Ogden House? Do you know what I'm talking about when I tell you about the Ogden House or no? So the Ogden House is right there across from the Ogden, across from 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And it looks like a mansion.
Okay.
I remember when I first moved back to Denver, I used to always drive in front there. There'd always be for rent sign. And I'm like, damn, like I can't afford the whole mansion. Like, so I never called, you know what I mean? But one day going to 7-Eleven, I ran into a homie, and he told me it was like a bunch of people, a bunch of homies that lived there, and they had a studio in the basement, and they would just rent out rooms, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fucking anyway, so like I said, a bunch of my homies lived there.
Yeah.
And it was some lady who owned the Ogden House, and she basically owned like probably 20, 30 properties in Cap Hill. Any property you see with the lions in front of it were hers.
Right.
And she was kind of like she was kind of like a slumlord, you know what I mean?
Right.
But she was like in her like late 80s.
Yeah.
She was Lady Eloise. But she was still kind of moving and kicking and shit. And her dude was fucking 19 years old, bro. And he was telling us how she would take him to Brazil and stuff.
Lucky.
Oh, but I mean, he was like a bitch though, for real. Like, I mean, I remember, bro. Like, so I remember, I had to get a new place to live, and I was living right there, a block away. And she had, like I said, she had a million fucking places in Cap Hill. And I remember calling her on a Sunday, and it was like 5 or 6 o'clock, bro. And she answers the phone tripping, bro. Like, I don't know who the fuck you are calling me this late and da-da-da-da-da, blah, blah. Only people that call this late are for fucking prostitutes and fucking drugs, and hung up on me. So I was like, what the fuck? So then I was like, all right. So I called her like the next day, and like, she's like, all right, yeah, I got this one available. Come meet me over here. And like, I went there. And just the way she talked to me, bro, just like, no, like, I ain't renting shit from you.
Nothing.
Like, first of all, this place ain't all that at all. This is subpar. And then you're being the biggest fucking, I'm going to say, cunt in the world with your fucking attitude and trying to talk to me
straight
like,
up, dude.
You know what I mean? And even the shit she said before the day, I was just calling to try to, thought we were the homies. Like, you know what I mean? And, but she had a boy toy that was 19, and she was almost 90.
Dude, that's like common down there, bro. It's crazy. Like, you'll see like old dudes with like young people.
Oh, I mean,
it
works both ways. I mean, shit.
Like, it's nuts, man. I ran down there for a little bit off of Colfax, and that was like not the best area for people, for sure.
Oh, for real.
There was a girl named Lil Mama one time, and like, I don't fuck around with people usually like down there, and her name was Lil Mama. I just have to say that was the only time that it was like a sketchy time that sexy things happened.
You got me so confused right now, fool. You're wild. You're wild. All right, but fucking man, so I don't even know where to go from there. We was talking about hasko.art.
Yeah, no, back to that.
Today.
Back to hasko.art.
Yeah. Back to you, Bob.
Back to you, Bob. Back to you, Joe. Oh, man.
So what's going on with your art lately, man? You producing? You not producing?
I'm producing
Are
quite
you
a bit.
fucking backlogged? You got fucking? Are you doing customs? Like, how many are you?
doing
Like, if I
customs.
want a piece fucking from you, how long do I gotta wait?
You got to wait about a month.
A month. Okay, that's not
Yeah,
too bad. And what do I gotta come up with?
You got to come up with
$100, $200,
just,
$300. I mean, I know I'm JoeThunder, and
Yeah.
all, so that would change. But if I was your average motherfucking Joe,
it would change.
what's the price?
The price
You're looking at
would
least
be,
300 on the minimum, right?
I mean,
Or are
it
we
depends on
five?
the size.
Okay,
Depends on
okay.
the size. I do.
What about the size behind you right there, bro? on the floor. What about something like that? What am I getting? That's a big ass canvas.
That would be about.
Probably like 7.
That would be
8.
about
1,000.
500 or 600.
Okay. That's not too bad. That's pretty big size. That's pretty.
That's a good canvas. Yeah, about 500 or 600.
You know what I mean?
And I like to, work with people too. I've. Can I tell how many I've sold? Is that
Yeah,
is that
for
all right?
sure.
I don't want to be all like braggy and crap, but I've sold 370, a little bit over paintings, since 2019.
Nice.
And that's in me saying that I'm not bragging at all. It's very humbling to me to have something like that happen. My father sold art when he was younger. He stopped selling art, and I kind of picked up where he left off just a little bit years later, of course. But it was very, it's just very humbling to have to know that other people like my art.
Now that is dope when people recognize that shit.
Even the ones that I don't like, which is most of them. Like I'm not in love with all my art, and I'm not like, I don't get it, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking dope. Half the time I'm like, fucking Christ.
That's how we are though with everything. What we think is whack, somebody else thinks is tight as fuck.
Yeah. No, and who am I to judge what my shit is?
Right.
When there's all these other people that have their own brains.
I asked you earlier, but I don't think you answered it. What's the craziest trade proposal you ever got? Like, what's you know what I mean? We were talking about just fools trying to lowball you, bullshit. But what's the weirdest shit? Someone said, "I'll trade you for a canvas."
What was it? Did I tell you it already?
I don't know. I don't think you did.
Okay, I don't.
I think we're high.
Yeah, really high. Shout out JoeThunder podcast. Smoking JoeThunder podcast.
Podcast. Cha. What's the weirdest request, or what's the weirdest?
I've gotten a guy from Germany who wanted me to send him his art, and it was going to be the paintings were $250 each, and it was going to be like $350 each to get them sent there.
Something ridiculous.
In the safe way. And he had already sent me part of the money, and it was that as far as the craziest thing I had to go through. Is that
no, the craziest thing someone offered to pay you, like as far as compensation, like as far as like, hey, I want a painting, but I ain't got no money. I got some trade.
Well,
here's an ounce of coke. Here's some mushrooms. Here's some pussy. Man. Like fucking.
I mean,
I'll fucking clean your house. Like just some weird ass shit.
I've gotten
multiple
mushrooms
drugs. I've got multiple drugs.
Multiple drugs for my paintings. Let's just say that. To be real with that. But the coolest time, the coolest most profitable time was when my friend Myron offered me $1,000 to do a certain size, and he made the canvas himself, and it was quite a bit. But he had also that night dropped like another $1,000 on like another painting, a similar.
Yeah, you can never turn down a couple racks. Shout out.
Yeah, no, shout out Myron, man. Super dope dude. Yeah, but other than that, I don't really.
Nothing too weird.
Nothing too weird. No.
I guess you're.
I have gotten like coke and shit.
Right.
But like, it was like, yeah.
You ever get any ass for any canvases? I know you have. You don't want to admit it. You got a blowjob before.
Check this out.
All right, you got the small one. You can have the small one.
I've never slept with anybody in the art world.
Well, not in the art world. It could be a fucking fan. It could
Actually, I'm fucking lying about that.
It could be, yeah, get the fuck out of here, bro. There's fucking groupies everywhere. And you're like, all right.
I'm thinking like people from the art world.
No, I'm thinking like
actually,
anyone. Just some bitch come up to you and said, hey, check it out. I really love your art.
Okay, here's this. All right, I guess I'll fucking tell one. All right. I was at. Should I just say it, or should I just show you where it was?
I'll just say it.
I was at the river Shout out the River, man. Those dudes are dope. I was at the River and I was doing a pop-up and a girl walked up and I didn't know that it was singles night that night. And I don't really fuck with like singles night and all that shit. I don't do all that shit.
You're just doing some art there, right?
Yeah, I was just doing art and I was just hanging out selling art. And
dude, that's the
a
best.
few people showed up, man. A few dope souls showed up to like support me that night. It was really dope. And there's this one little awesomeness that was walking around, and I went to the bathroom, and we like met like right at the bathrooms, and she just told me straight up. She was like, "My master said I could go home with you."
What the fuck? Her master.
So I was like, "All right, what time are we leaving?"
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's funny right there.
Yeah,
like, dude, if some
yeah.
chick came up to me and said that, I'd be like,
Yeah, she liked my art, but I don't think it was about that. She like helped me like load my art back up in the car too. It was dope.
man, gave you some ass. Damn.
Yeah, dude.
But
it
you,
was dope.
I was gonna say,
It was
she's,
like right after like a breakup too. It was
I was
perfect.
gonna say she's a keeper, but master won't be down with the
Yeah,
keeper.
like what's up, master?
Did you have her explain the whole master shit, or did you just
We didn't
roll
really,
with
we
it to
didn't
the?
really roll into that. It was a little bit of like some like first place shit. I was just in there.
Hold on. First place shit. I'm confused, bro.
I was in first place, bro.
Oh, you were in first
Yeah,
place.
that's my fault.
Gotcha.
Came back to my house. She went to her house first and then called me and was like, "Okay, I think I'm gonna come over," because it wasn't like
Hold up.
it wasn't so it wasn't like right like it was known at first. And
like
then-
you told
and
her,
then
you told real quick.
Yeah, and
You
then-
told her I'm down. I want to smash.
Yeah,
and she's like, hold up.
And then she goes home
Uh-huh.
with her master, and then she calls me, and I was like, "Yo, are you coming over?" And she was like, "Yes." And
Got you. And then she came over.
She came over, and it was like, "Yeah,
Was it quick?
no, fuck no."
Did y'all? I mean, I'm not trying to, but I mean, I'm trying to think like
It wasn't quick.
master still fucks me up.
It was fun. It was with good intention.
No, yeah,
and
for sure, for
very,
sure.
Very,
Have
very, very letting each other know what we wanted before anything happened, type thing.
was it a one and done, or was it like
No.
you gotta had the fucking thing, the
We
cool
had-
side from the master to?
We had the runaround.
Okay. Did she ever want you to be her master?
No.
No,
I mean,
she was stuck on that.
I don't know if she's ready for that.
What do you think of some chick like that? Like if a chick came up to you and said, and she was cool as fuck and everything, but she played that whole fucking weird, I want you to be my master shit and fucking do weird shit. And
I would probably say yes to it.
I mean, I have to try it, right?
Yeah, man. You gotta,
See what the fuck this entitles.
yeah. When in Rome, you know what they say.
Hell yeah. Shout out to all y'all.
Well, yeah.
We love all y'all.
Oh,
Just-
y'all.
Just so y'all know, every single one of y'all.
Every single one of y'all.
Hell yeah, bro. We're high. We're at a high ass level here.
Highest level.
Shout out to Be Good.
Shout out. Shout out to Be Bueno.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Zeb.
Yeah, R.I.P. man.
R.I.P. Zeb.
For real, for real. Well, shit, man. You got any kind of final thoughts? Any last things you want to throw out there for the people?
Man, I just want to say that we laid my brother to rest yesterday.
Damn.
And it was up in Estes Park, and it was beautiful. And I just want to have people recognize the beauty of family and of being able to still have parents, both of them together. That's a tough thing in this world.
Definitely.
And I really just believe in love and forgiveness and all that cool stuff, man. Like hug the person next to you, tell people you love them. Super important, I think. So.
No, for sure. Just all in all, be a good person, man, and
Yeah, be a good person.
give and receive, and you know, give and receive.
Shout out to be a good person too, man.
For sure. Gotta be, man, nowadays. Shit's rough.
Yeah.
Shit's different, you know what I mean? Well, there you have it, man. Another banger in the books. Number 200 something.
That's a lot, bro.
I know, like I said, probably like 275. I'm thinking some shit like that because, you know, we even lost some episodes and we're going to have to bring those back to you. So be on the lookout. You know what I mean? We're always dropping content, at least 2 a week. You know, and like I said, another bango with hasko.art. Thank you for coming and sharing your story, bro. Like it was, you know, glad you could overcome all this shit and, you know, live life.
Thank you, man.
All right, well, there you have it.
I appreciate you.
For sure, for sure. It's your boy JoeThunder, Smoking JoeThunder Podcast. You can find us everywhere. Comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And just Google us, man. We're on all platforms. We're out of here. Peace.